Hey, well, howdy, howdy, rowdy. How are y'all? Good morning, you guys. It's Friday. We did it. Staying alive, staying alive. Oh my gosh, we're already halfway through January, okay? We got a long way to go. Anyway, welcome into the porch. Good morning, good afternoon. Depends on where you are. But hi, how you doing? It's good to see you, right? Anyway, I'm Red Dirt Preacher. I'm a conscious preacher and awakened preacher. I'm not for everyone. I'm like a topical medicine. I'm not for every rash, okay? But I'm here nonetheless. So I'm going to ramp up what I'm doing today. The passion is in my heart. So if you guys like watching me like a movie or a slow train, a slow car wreck, do tune in today. It's going to be beautiful. It's a beautiful day. So we're going to start right off the top I'm working from my head, working from the pages here. Anyway, I was sitting last night in front of the fireplace and really spent a couple hours just sitting in flow with spirit, and that's what I do, So, oh my gosh, there were so many dimes. I just knew I had to go write them down, so I made these little Galileo notes that no one can read but me. Okay, and that's how I do what I do, Tell you, I go sit by Jesus by the fireplace, by the bushels, by the Greenbrier, down by the creek. Jesus and I, we just take walks, and I'll bring those walks back to you, Let's get into it, dive in. So, today's message, they're going to set me on fire for this one. It wouldn't be the first time. God don't give a shit. And you're like, what? Lane, how could you say that? Hold on. The reason I titled this video like this, we're going to get a lot more company just because people are going to slam on their brakes and be like, what do you say? God don't give a shit. What's so vulgar? Oh, to get you to listen. All right, so God don't give a shit. In my layman way of talking, it's an old message spun in a new way. I know that we've all heard the old saying of, God doesn't care about your bank account and your T-shirts and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But boy, you walk into church or you walk into a religion and it kind of does matter what you drive, what you wear, what your kids wear, how your hair smells, what you look like, because they're sizing you up. And that is the first hurdle that keeps a lot of good-hearted people from going to church, right, into religion. So that's why we just come over here on the porch. We all have T-shirts. Okay, nobody's allowed to dress up. That way you can leave your ego hanging on the closet, hanging on the hangers in the closet. But don't need you to dress your ego up and come over here. So God doesn't give a shit. God doesn't give a stuff. He doesn't give a darn about all that paper mache. And it's an old message a new way, but with the paper mache, with rhymes, I swear, Jesus like Dr. Seuss. So paper mache means all the things that were certified or certificates. I'm not devaluing your paper products. Okay? All right. But the Lord is. In the good book that we find in hotels, in the first drawer of the hotel, or on the back of, pews, we're going to see in the good book him talk about, Spirit and Source talk about how it's wisdom of the world that is folly. It's wisdom of the world that really don't mean than to Jesus. And wisdom to the world is, look, I got this certificate that says I can basket weave, diplomas, money, licenses, license to marry, license to kill, license to whatever you gotta need a license for. To hunt, walk the land, a land pass. Here in Georgia, you have to have a land pass to walk on the land. In Oklahoma, we could do that for free. Back to the subject. We're going to take some dirt roads. Back to the subject. God doesn't care. Reminder, God still don't give a shit about our paper mache. He does not care. And there's so many memes floating around where it's like, oh, God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the call. Yes, that's true, because he doesn't give a about paper mache. So in me, I didn't go to seminary, but I went to hell and came back and died and did a spiritual journey, man. I did what you all did. That's a lot harder than going to seminary school. Because now I don't sound like a copy-paste product. I am my own product because I went through hell with Jesus and came out the other side, and I got to run tell it. You guys, what's beyond the rainbow? God does not care. So if he doesn't care about your car, about your bank account, I'm going to hope to God that you don't give a shit about mine. And I'm going to make damn sure I don't give a shit about yours. So if you think that certificates, diplomas, and monies, and numbers, and licenses, and titles to cars, and houses, and boats, and all this. It doesn't matter. If it doesn't matter to Jesus, it cannot matter to me. So don't walk up here being my friend saying, hey, look at all these, look at my paper pedigree, look at my paper mache. Because really, that's all it is. It's paper mache. And some of those things will, it's almost like most of the time, 80-20 rule here, the better the paper mache of a person, the more paper they come with, the more certifications, the more money, the more things in paper. Sometimes 80-20. It says that the better the paper mache that a person has is the better they hide. You know what I'm saying? The better their papers, the better they hide. Or more papers hide people. Think about that. If you don't come with papers, there's no hiding. If I come to you and I say, here's my boats, here's my houses, here's my cars, here's my bank account, look at me, look what I've created, it's all my paper mache. Now you must value me. Now you must find me important and hold me in high esteem. Why? Because you got some paper mache? There's people all over the world that got paper mache real good. But the character is no good. And see, in God's eyes, He don't give a shit about your paper mache. So if God doesn't care, I don't care. And I hope to God you don't care. We're not going to hang out and drink Kool-Aid on the porch too much often. So God doesn't care. He wants to see the same thing I want to see. Character. Your character. I'd rather see somebody, say I got a friend in my life or a potential person that's courting me or whatever. I want to see your character. I want to know what happens when the metal meets the meat. I want to know if you have obedience to God. I want to know if you've got compassion. I want to see how far and well-rounded your empathy is. I want to see your character. I don't want to see your paper mache. Because what's here today will be gone tomorrow, birds to ants and ants to birds. Don't put all your eggs in a paper mache basket. So, also too, like I said, those things help define us. But really, it's the world that told us these are our defining lines. And the world's defining lines for human beings are completely different than God's defining lines of human beings. What He's calling you at the defining line. The character defining line versus paper mache. You know what I'm saying? So, God does not value your paper mache. He values your character. He values your empathy reach, your obedience, where the metal meets the meat. Alright, so holy reminder, that's something we all already knew, but I just wanted to point that out and make a good reminder of that. And, caveat, it's very easy for us, because we're trained by the world, which the world is owned by the devil right now. The devil is the husband to the world, So, it's the they. You know what they say? Every time you hear somebody say, you know what they say? Stop. Because that's the devil's bullshit. More than likely, 9 times out of 10, when you hear someone give you an old world adage of, you know what they say? Wrong. We're being taught wrong, and whatever they say has been wrong, right? We're figuring that out. So don't listen to they. Right? If they say, hey, you're of value, you're of worth, I'll respect you, I'll love you, as long as you come with these paper products. And even as a preacher and as a prophet, as a spiritual leader, I still combat this very issue with institutions that I'm involved with, because they don't see my merit, they don't see what I know that I am. All they see is what's on paper. Therefore, it's easy to go, of no value, get in the back. I'm not getting in the back. There's a lot of value here. I'm sorry, are you still looking for value on paper? Because I'm not. Come up higher. Evolve, right? So that's the way we're doing it here on the porch, and that's the way I have eyesight for people. I don't give a think about your papers. I want to know who you are, what your character is, and God does too. So if God don't care about that, then I don't, and I offer to you not to care about that stuff. And don't let that stuff define you. You're more than your bank account. You're more than the cars in your driveway. You're more than your situation. Come on, crowd. All right, we're going to leave the porch light on. I'm going to go take a drink of passion and desire and come on back to you. Maybe sprinkle some bullshit sauce in there, stir it up. And we're going to get on the horses and riding today. We're going to talk about some amazing things, and we're going to start an amazing thing. And I need your help to do that. So stay on the porch today. Love you guys, and I'll see you in a bit. And as I always say, stay kind and stay out of your mind.